Oopsie. That's my bad. Okay, now I see the YouTube side of things going. Let me grab today's art and we're good to go. Oh, nope. Never mind. No, we're not. All right, hold on, chat. Looks like I gotta do my two-factor anyways. Freaking hell, man. Okay, now I see it. I will explain everything in just a moment. Yeah, I think I know my own chat rule. Oh my god. Vote for positivity. I'm gonna say out of all the streams, this is probably not one that's gonna be very positive in that regard. But there's not a lot I can do about that. It's the dev zone track record speaking for itself. So I'll try to be as positive as I can, but we got some stuff to talk about. Okay. So it looks like it's working. Let's get this party started. I'm sorry I am late. Tried to warn y'all that this is going to be the case some of the days, and it is what it is. Here is today's artwork. Go give the artist some love. Again, as always, you guys can find the art in the art command, !art command, sorry. And as always, go give them all the support that you can. Again, I'm always appreciative of the artists that actually draw FGO and continue to do so. Hello, Cece, how's it going? So chat, to explain, I am late because of cookies, not because of anything like baked though, but rather because of the fact that my internet cookies completely reset and made me log into everything because my browser wasn't working, because Chrome decided it was going to just brick itself until I finally did the update. So I had to do the update, and then it logged me out of literally everything, which is like... is what it is. Anyways, I had definitely some interesting issues there, and that's why I was already late to begin with getting set up. I think it was like 7:15 is when I was actually able to like get it started, and it still just from there took me forever to get logged in and everything. Cat is baked, understandable. I mean, I don't know if my eye is red, but I've been rubbing it a lot, so that may look like I'm baked. But no, I'm doing good today. I hope everybody else is as well. I was super tired today when I woke up. Yesterday was my first longer day at work. Today is my second one. I feel better today, but we'll see, right? Like, obviously, fatigue is going to be a thing for this first week, so... But again, I was not trying to like delay stream or anything like that. Just shit happened. Today we're going to be doing the what FGO needs to work on for 2024 video. I promised you guys this one for a while. We're going to do this. Tomorrow's probably going to be Bizette's review. Then we should be good for a little bit. But this is one that's kind of, you know, I sat down today to think about what I wanted to do and say in the videos, and I felt like I don't need to sugarcoat it. I don't need to change anything. Basically, so we'll talk about like what it is and kind of how we're gonna approach reviewing it. Today's Samurai Remnant story is short. Good. That would definitely be a nice thing. I have not I can't say I've been up against the time lock at all. Like again, I got to complete like mission 8, and it looks like and 122, which is clearly already passed, so I'm definitely a couple days behind. That just is what it is. It's because I'm doing the ordeal call quest, so I will always naturally fall behind in some of this. But I may at some point just pop a couple apples and catch back up. we'll see. I have not decided yet because I'm gonna try to persist and see what I can do sort of without actually doing that stuff. Cat, if you're too mean, they won't invite you to an Ina Crony stream in the future. I mean, that's fine. They're not going to invite anyone to an Ina Crony stream because Hololive can't collab outside of Hololive, as far as I understand it. And it is what it is, right? Like, I'm gonna say this: I do wish that they would work with other content creators, but we'll talk about that. Why does everybody got the shit CE on their Oberon suddenly? There we go. In we go. Cross Hololive only. Yep. It's collabed with Niji Sanji. Oh, really? I didn't actually realize that. Wait till Cad's VTuber. You're right. That's gonna change everything. I'm not expecting VTubing to change much for me, chat. It's like we'll see. We'll see how much I like want to give the traditional tropes of VTubing a try. But it's just probably gonna be just me, but in a VTuber model type deal. Will I be using a voice changer? Do you think I need to? Like is this a statement on my voice? Does my voice need to get better, chat? Do you not like my voice? Is that what's No, I'm not gonna use a voice changer. I mean, I already have the capability of like changing my voice should I need to, but I never have bothered. Have I considered applying to a big VTuber corpo? I have the experience. No. No, like that would maybe be possible, right? Like I certainly have the ability to like talk my way through everything. And in a weird way, starting a new channel under a new identity would allow me to completely have a new lease on life and none of the expectations and assumptions as to like who I am at all. But like, so it's like that could be refreshing, but at the same time, it's like, no, I'd rather just try to make what I already have work. Because I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say, if I've learned anything from watching VTubers over these years, it's that corpos suck. Like basically it's really nice to have the corporate umbrella behind you, but it's also really suffocating and causes innumerable issues. And I feel like that's what keeps happening to all these VTubers is like they just sort of crack and they can't handle it. And they end up like violating the rules somehow or doing something that they shouldn't do. And it ends up costing them. New channel, Cad, we'd never know. Of course you would know. How would you not know? Cad could be a variety streamer all the time. I mean, that'd be cool. I love streaming FGO, and I really do mean that. But there's definite times that I get tired of streaming FGO. And I'm going to say that's more like because there's like not anything going on. And I will say this, the worst part of the FGO community by far, is when there is nothing going on, the FGO community cannibalizes itself. It will literally sit there and point fingers. It will literally sit there and scream to high heavens about like why stuff isn't happening. And the problem with that is, while I don't get the finger pointed at me necessarily or anything like that, I constantly have people coming in asking me like all the negative questions. Like, Cad, why isn't it that they're doing this? And I'm like, I don't have answers for you. I wish I did. Right? Like, I wish I actually could tell you because I had like some secret dev connection and like actually knew an answer. But I don't. I don't know any of the FGO devs and they don't talk. So, like, it is what it is. Non-stop complaining when FGO fans when there's nothing going on. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like people say that I'm getting too negative on the game, but the reality is I'm just more of a reflection of the community. And I understand people are pissed, and I have my own opinions on that, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat that in that regard, but like when I keep getting asked the like, Cad, why haven't the devs done blank? There's only so many ways I can answer that question. Like, okay, so here you go. Cad, why isn't LaSingle doing reruns? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Like, and I assume people ask me because they think that like I have a better guess, like I have a more educated guess. They may be right in that regard. I definitely have some good theories, I'd say, from time to time, but like I don't actually know. I can't conclusively say this is the reason, right? I just play and chill. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could play and chill a lot more in that regard, right? I think this is sort of one of the issues of being like the informative streamer is like that kind of just comes with the territory is people are going to ask me questions all the time. Wild thing. Thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate it. And you can't really ignore the questions all the time either. Right. And I've got to point this out to you guys is like, there are definite times that I have had to ignore a question. I don't like doing that. I don't like it. Because one, all that's going to do is make me feel bad for skipping your question. And two, it's not going to make you feel like, you know, like streamer man is doing his job and like actually responding to chat or like actually paying attention to you. When are the devs fixing the game? Exactly. Haven't the devs given us a Shinji face? You know, at least people have asked for that one. There's definitely been some people on the Japanese side that have asked. I'm not sure how much the American side cares. I think most people on the like English speaking side of things just want Shinji so that they can like burn him or like put it like I guarantee you that would be a meme of like when Shinji came out, you would see somebody that would make a video of like, I rolled for 10 copies of Shinji and burned him. Like, just because. Every single video on YouTube will FGO end of service is FGO dead. I hope people don't do that. I really do. Like, because I've said this before, is like, I don't think FGO is end of service anytime soon. I don't think it's dead. But I do think it's struggling. I think it has its issues with putting content out. It's not struggling in the money making department. That part it's like 100% fine in. And that's why I don't think it ends of service. Like it's just a cash cow right now. The devs literally have no reason to stop it. I swear if they make a Shinji face and he's a meta unit, I'll laugh. I would really question my willingness to play at that point, but I'm pretty sure World War wouldn't stop it. I mean, anything can put a stop to something, right? Like, Chad, all it takes is like a natural disaster hitting like the devs headquarters, and that's not gonna like be good for the game, right? Like, so I understand. And in that regard, I'm gonna say that like there's definitely things that could make the situation get worse, and I just hope none of them happen. Gong, the Shinji meme incoming, yeah. What's wrong with male meta units? No. You're asking the wrong question. It has nothing to do with males. This isn't a sexism issue. It's just it's a totally unique to Shinji issue. It is just simply people do not like Shinji. Good thing is they have two people working there, so rehiring is easy. Oh no, don't say that. Hello, Peon. It wouldn't help. I mean, I don't know. Look, you dropped two sons and you got anime, so like, what do you think happens when we get the third one? Maybe the third one is how we get like cat girls. Godzilla, you're probably not wrong. Godzilla was a cautionary tale. Yeah, they're cat girls, chat, but they look like the one cat girl from Gintama, the old lady that basically is the landlord for Gin's apartment. Don't put that curse out there. Yes. Okay, so there you go. We're good on JP already. They don't release males for Annie because they make less than females, I'd imagine. Uh didn't we have a male anniversary servant? Trying to think. Yeah, Sherlock. Okay. Yeah, it was like I couldn't remember if Sherlock was actually anniversary or if he was like right before it. Because he was the one that was popping into my head. Darky, thank you for the follow. And Maruz, thank you for the follow as well. Also, apologies for all the sniffling chat. It just be a thing. Shinji would be the new Arash Nobukatsu. I could see something like that, and I wouldn't have issue with it if they did. Had 4 to 5 male New Year servants, to be fair. Yeah. And I think it has nothing to do with like whether or not the units sell well, because I assume they do. Why is my mustache so white? Oh, it's all the cocaine. I hope you're not getting sick, Cad. There's other content creators also fan the flame every time there's a dead week. Gets annoying. I mean, yeah, like I've said this. I usually don't like talking about end of service because I feel like that's all that is any discussion on stuff like that is just bait when everybody knows full well that this game's just going to keep going over and over and over again. So it's like fear mongering and using that to like drive clicks. And I've said this to you guys before. It's like I don't mind to a degree like bait to get someone to watch my video, but like I've also told you guys like the way I usually do bait is I usually do bait in a way where like you then are happy you watched the video, where it's like, oh, I thought the video was going to be about this, but I left informed and like understanding. So it's like basically using the bait tactics for good rather than for evil. Are we talking Colombian blend or Caribbean import? I don't know. I'm not a cocaine expert. Cat'll clickbait us into teaching us? Yeah. If you sit through a 10-minute video, oof, is FGO gonna EUS? You're not gonna like it, right? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think those conversations are even worth having, because chat, nothing can prepare you for that. If it happens, it happens, and like that just be what that's gonna be. So it's like all that does is just make the situation worse. If you keep making content based off that, you're part of the problem. Because you're just driving down player enthusiasm and willingness to spend money on the game. And if there's anything that's going to kill this game, it's going to be players not spending money on it. That was me yesterday. Exactly, Sleepy. I subscribed for cocaine facts. This is bullshit. I'm sorry. ACH Monster, thank you for the prime as well. Welcome. Enjoy your sub, or sorry, enjoy your emotes again. I have too strong of an emotional attachment to this game. Yeah, and I've said that before too, is like I actually feel like at this point nothing can really happen to FGO without there being some kind of replacement. Like the Fate fandom is way too like lucrative at this point. Like, it's not like Star Wars level, but it's like it's up there as like one of the biggest IPs in terms of money making potential. And so it's like I cannot fathom somebody just like saying, "Oh yeah, let's shut down FGO and we don't have anything to pick up the pieces." Right? I would not have met the friends I found here. Exactly. We got a lot of whales. Yep. They can print money whenever they want. I mean, I do think with regards to printing money, right, it is somewhat beholden on the quality of the unit. I think there's definitely banners for them that have been miss, and then definitely banners for them that have been insane hits. And I think it's still a learning process for them after all these years. They keep learning, like, oh hey, this is kind of what works and this isn't. Can't really run out of characters in Fate, yeah. But I do think a good chunk of it is controlled by Type Moon, and they largely dictate how content is going to flow, and that includes like character releases. So until someone goes like, "Hey, we absolutely must have like that character of culture," I think you go a couple releases in between without having it. I'm expecting Ordeal Call 2 banners to sell well. I mean, I'll be really curious to see what they have planned for Ordeal Call 2. Like, it's definitely an intriguing idea. And we'll just have to wait and see. They could just drop a new Rin face and see the money flow. Sure, but like once they've done that, like they probably can't do another one for a little bit, right? So it's like naturally they can't just make every banner a Rin face, and if they did make every banner a Rin face, people would start to get angry at them. So like yeah, obviously the Rin fans would be happy at that point, but I think it's just a natural sort of issue that they run into. Ordeal Call 2 still hasn't come out. Nope. No, chat, we are, let's see, Ordeal Call 1 was June of last year. We are basically going on 8 months since since an actual like story chapter release. I'm sure they would sit there and tell you like, oh, but some of the events we had in between mattered for story. And while I understand, I'm like, no, you don't get a pass on this because you didn't label any of them as a 0.5. So like they have their own selves to blame in that regard because they basically set themselves up. Oh no, not again. Yeah. Summer could be easily a 0.5. Could be, but they themselves haven't called it that, so they haven't like done the branding on it for that to be the case. So like I said, they've shot themselves in the foot because now the perception is you haven't actually had story. And this kind of goes back to my original point that your 0.5s are not main story. And so it's like even if they were to call Samurai Remnant main story as a 0.5, it clearly isn't because it's not the ordeal calls. It's not actually advancing the main plot. So that's the issue that they keep running into. And I hope that at some point they realize that their branding has kind of struggled over time and they really need to like work on that. Oh, they're always like related to, but they're not actually the main thing. And so like try to think of a good example of this, but I don't know. It's almost like a choose your own adventure type of story, and there's clearly like the main plot line, and you keep hopping down the main plot line, but every once in a while you go off on a tangent, and the tangent is fun and interesting, but then it's a dead end, and it doesn't actually go anywhere. And that's sort of what like happens with your 0.5s. They exist, they're fun, they're interesting, but they don't actually end up anywhere new because they can't, because they're not the main story. So that's sort of the issue that I feel like you run into with some of this. We need a Palworld to make another FGO game. I mean, there have been tons of like fan made Fate games over the years. It would be really interesting to see someone make like a ripoff of Fate, but you know, we've already seen like plenty of the Chinese games over the years that have done that. 6.5 is definitely main story material. I mean, I'll reserve the right to when I read that, but here's the thing I'm going to say. No. and the reason I say no still is because at the end of all of this, it is not one of the original 7 Lost Belts. And so while it can be related to them as much as they want, still not LB6, it's still not LB7. Like it does not actually end up progressing that plot. It is this like, hey, and this is my understanding of 6.5, and please do not spoil, but my understanding of 6.5 is that it answers a ton of questions that were not answered in the course of the Lost Belts. And then also at the same time, it basically opens the game up for more questions. So, an interesting thing, to say the least. Fate from wish.com, please no. It answers multiple questions that have been going on for years. Right. But so, like I said, to me, the 6.5s were always planned to be things, but they were not planned to be actual story chapter releases until the devs decided that they needed to drag out said story. Only way it could be better is if it was Mordred. That's true. Yeah, I'd love to see like some actual sales numbers on Samurai Remnant. I would like to see like how successful it has been, especially relative to its cost. Because I really do hope that they do. Like, I sadly feel like there's plenty of people in the like Fate and FGO communities that just like didn't want to actually get Samurai Remnant. But dear God, I cannot stress this enough just how much better of a game it is than Extella to me. At the end of the day, it just really is something that to me the devs need to support, because they got a third party studio to come in and handle the development for them, taking a lot of the load off of like having to have La Single or something do that. And I think it just really, really is smart and resulted in a much better quality product. Like, I hate to say it, but I don't feel like I don't really trust the single devs to make a non-gacha game. So it's like I really just want to see them have other people make non-FGO stuff. I don't think Extella is trash. I just think Extella is like interesting. I think the story in Extella is what like keeps your attention more than anything. But at the end of the day, I don't find the gameplay to be that engrossing. And like I said, I that's just my opinion, right? So it's like you're more than welcome to like Extella. Give some game making competition to make some better Fate game. The problem with that, Zelfer, is just that like probably everyone would call them out for like trying to get cheap labor. But I do agree. I think that would be like a cool idea. Its gameplay is numbing. Yeah, that's like I don't want to speak too poorly of Extella, But to me, like if Extella had just been a light novel or something like that, it would have been just as good. Like, or even a visual novel at that point. Like, I didn't. The gameplay in Extella isn't what mattered to me, and if anything, at times I felt like it detracted from it. But I completely understand that other people may just enjoy the hell out of Extella's gameplay. But like to me, what I saw in Samurai Remnant is like you could have still made an action game and still made it better than kind of how Extella did. Feels like you're controlling a thing. You kind of are. Both are good. Yeah. Stella was the most painful. It is. They were stuck in the PSP gameplay age. Well, I think, like, chat, tell me this. By the end of Extella, you were at the point where you just beelined the boss and killed them as fast as they could. Yes or no? Right? Like, you didn't spend a lot more time trying to do all this, like, extra stuff or anything because you had done it a million times before. No, but only for achievements? Okay. Because that's definitely how I got with it. Win for EX rank, damn. I still have not managed to advance this. Part of the issue with this chat is I only have a certain amount of time to play in the mornings, and all of my morning playtime has been occupied by an incessant number of 5 AP quests on JP. That has been my biggest issue. So I'm just kind of whittling down the missions on NA here. Looks like I'm finally done with the stupid chocolate garden one. So I just need the machine type enemies. I'm not sure like which node gives the most machine types though. I think it's mostly the ones in the southeast quadrant. Okay, so there's that. Land of Sweets. Wonderland Museum. Silent Field. I love how Game Press doesn't know the new 90 plus is locked behind the new story. Listen, chat, I'm gonna say this. Don't get too angry at your guide makers at this point. Like, finding out some of the info for Fate ahead of time requires a lot of digging, a lot of work, and like, let's be real, usually it's not worth it. Like it's kind of the amount of like effort you have to go through just to figure out like one small like thing like that is like it's not worth that effort. So it's like I'm not gonna be upset if Game Press gets one or two things wrong. As long as they don't get some like big critical thing wrong, it's not the end of the world to me. Shadow Island, okay, that is the one that I can see here. I just wanted to make sure. I'm just waiting for Mew vs. Shiro or Lost Belt 6 anime in addition to my Fate Empire of Dirt anime. Well, Empire of Dirt is a fan project, isn't it? They don't like the combat in Samurai Remnant? That's wild. Like, if I don't see how anyone could not like the combat in Samurai Remnant, but then like it in Extella. Just because it's like Samurai Remnant at least has like other stuff to do, but I don't know. I guess like, and I'll say this: I understand fans not liking action combat and wanting like something more turn based. I guess that does make a lot of sense, but I don't know. I'm gonna say at that point like that's perfectly fine, but no, they hit Extella as well. Yeah, so that's probably just people not liking action combat. Kind of hope FGO did something like Grand Blue Fantasy Reeling. I don't. But here's why I'm going to say that. If FGO has the time and effort to make such a project, Like let's say La Single is making something like that on the side, I would be very pissed. And the reason why is I would just immediately assume that they detracted resources from FGO to make said thing because of how the content pacing of FGO has been. So it's like I'd be happy that there would be a new product out there, but at the same time I would be really pissed because I would just assume that it had been part of the reason for like Fate's weird pacing of late. And I'm gonna say if they have the time and effort to do something like that, it would just be better spent on like making an FGO 2 or something like that at that point, like trying to actually like overhaul the game and like leap it forward in terms of like capability and quality. I think that's what they should be spending all their time on, is making sure that their cash cow continues to succeed as much as it can. Ooh, root canal. Ugh. Good luck. Just don't make it open world, please. I'm gonna say this. They definitely need to. And here's why, Rain. You might not want them to do an open world game, but Fate has never done an open world game. That's actually been its issue. Most of the games for Fate have just not been AAA products. They have been very like lackluster in that regard. So it's like I legitimately hope that they like actually do something like that just to try it out. Why would you even want an open world game? Why wouldn't you? Like okay, allow me to say this, chat. Why wouldn't you? Like what do you guys have against open world games? Because I find that open world games give me a lot more choice and like replayability. Open world is terrible for stories, the main draw of Fate. No, I mean, I've had open world games that I thought had really good stories. Witcher 3 is a great example of that. But it's like, let me say this, chat. If your writing is good, your writing is good. A lot of people have a tendency to say that, like, oh, the story sucked, but it was because it was open world. Well, I do understand that there is at least some modularity you have to handle when it comes to open world storytelling. Your story has to stand on its own. And if your story doesn't stand on its own, it's going to suck no matter what you put it in. A Yakuza like that would be cool. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Zelfer. Like, it's wild to me that we have had so few Fate games. It suffers from if the world is too grand. But let me farm and explore really quickly. I mean, I think well, let's be honest. Why do you have issue with that, Rain, and not an FGO? Because like, what's going on right now in FGO? We are headed towards the seventh singularity so that we can finally repel the, like Olga U, right? Like, so why are we not just going and doing it? Why are we sitting here and doing, Lady Rain's case files rerun? Why do we do anything else other than go straight for the Lost Belts? Why do we spend any of our AP on it? So then the only reason I'm pointing that out is because it sounds like with one that you'll suspend disbelief, but with another you won't. So, and please don't take this as an attack against you. It's not. I'm just pointing out that like basically a lot of the issues that people have a tendency to have in certain degrees like that usually amount to personal preference more than anything. 1 year of events for LB7, right? We could take this outside, Cat. Good. I'm glad you know that. I want y'all to understand. If I ever like go in on you like that, it's not me actually going in on you. It's. I will debate the point with you till I'm blue in the face, but I will not like attack you usually, not unless someone gets insulting towards me. An open world game would kill my interest. See, this is why I have issues with statements like that. How do you know it's good or bad until you play it? Like, chat, I said if Samurai Remnant were another Muso, I would not play it. And it was another Muso. It wasn't, but it was. The thing that I really didn't want is I didn't want Extella 3. If it were Extella 3, I was not going to bother. But it wasn't Extella 3. And so the whole point that I'm trying to make there is usually a good idea not to close your mind off to things. Like, don't put the cart before the horse. Don't judge the book by its cover. Yada, yada, yada. Extella 3, the triple moon cell. Yeah. I blame Ubisoft for making everyone think open world is boring. Right. Like, I really can't emphasize this enough. It's the same like let's take this open world game bad concept and apply it to isekai bad. Isekai is not bad. There's just bad isekais. That's always what it boils down to. If an open world ends like Genshin, I don't want it. But they could try for sure. So, like, let me break that one down for you guys, because I don't want to presume to speak for you, because I think Genshin's a big game and plenty of people feel plenty of ways about it. So why don't I like Genshin? Oh, holy hell. Kai, thank you for the 10 gift sub, Bob. I appreciate it, man. You did not have to. That's awesome of you. If you guys were lucky enough to get a sub from Kai, make sure you thank him. Enjoy your emotes. But all I was going to say there was, thinking about that same sort of concept of like Genshin, like I can tell you what I don't like about Genshin. I don't really like the company behind it. I don't think MiHoYo basically has any of your best interests at heart and just basically does everything it can to try and make the most money it can off of you. That's one thing I don't like about it. But that's sort of tangential. That's not actually Genshin itself. So why do I not like Genshin overall? I didn't like Genshin because I got to the end of the game and I realized that all it was an RNG grind for artifacts that didn't actually matter, because the game itself doesn't actually have a proper end game and just instead has like do Abyss every couple of weeks. So the lack of an end game and the RNG grind that didn't actually matter are what just ultimately turned me off to the game. So it's not that like Genshin's world or its combat systems are bad. I think they're actually quite good. I think it's that basically the way the game is run and the way its end game, quote unquote end game, is structured is what the ultimate turnoff for me is. Right. So it's like, I'll let you guys know on this. I applied to be part of the Wuthering Waves content creators program. That's not like gonna mean that I'm gonna become a Wuthering Waves streamer and like stream it every single day. But it was one of those deals where it's like I may as well sign up to see if I get in, to see if I can get like access, right? That's just me being pragmatic. But I hope that it doesn't end up the same way as Genshin. If Wuthering Waves is just Genshin, I probably won't play it either. Like, yeah, I know it's open world like Genshin, but if it ends up having the same in-game systems as Genshin, there's just no hope for that game as far as I'm concerned. So it's like, to me, a lot of it and like how a game works is in the minutia. Because I think this is something I have learned as well as I have gotten older and trying my hand at like new game genres and stuff like that, that like I had presumptions about certain things before I tried them. And then I tried them and realized that they either were not that bad or that well, yes, I still hate those things. There are instances where they're done right. Okay? So I'm going to give you guys an example of this. I don't really care for roguelike games too much. I find most roguelike games to be just way too punishing. Like, it's RNG, and unless you get the god tier seed, you just always fail. And then I played Hades. And Hades was fun because Hades was a rogue light. And Hades had basically progression in between your runs. Things you could work on to improve your odds statistically over time. And I realized I was like, this is so much better because it feels like I actually have some level of control and that my efforts are rewarded rather than my time being wasted. So it's how I learned that, well, yes, I still probably don't like that genre too much, that at the same time, there are things I can actually say if they're done better, I may in fact like the genre. So it just comes down to a game-to-game basis, right? And events can get a lot more self-aware and silly. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about that before too. Like, I actually feel like one of the issues with FGO is the fact that everything has to be super serious nowadays. Like, we don't really see too many self-aware, silly events anymore. And I think they need to go back to doing that. Oh yeah, Zanza, I know. Like, basically, with regards to Weathering, a ton of the PGR fans gave them that same feedback of this is just Genshin. Stop doing Genshin. So we'll see whether or not they make the changes. Binding of Isaac is pretty good. Yeah, like I said, I refuse to play Binding of Isaac, but that's just because I don't like the aesthetic of the game. Like, I realized that's a game that would just rub me wrong every second I was playing it. And so, like, in order to not shit on it, I just won't play it in that regard. I think if most products of any particular genre are bad, people will be skeptical of it. Yeah, I don't blame them for that, right? But I'll also say this. I feel like what happens in a lot of these cases is not that like most products are bad. It's that people basically played the good product, then went and played the bad product, got really pissed that they got baited by the bad product, didn't do their due diligence, and then blamed it on the system, right? Like they basically said like, "Oh, the reason I hate this game is because all games of this are bad." Completely like ignoring the fact that they actually know there are good versions out there. And the reason why I'm going to say this is y'all are trying to apply logic to it. I'm just straight up saying that people are unreasonable and sensationalist. I really think that's the case in most cases, is that like people just have to flap their gums and spout their opinion on it, and like they always have these like crummy takes. I'd be curious to read the SR event because the game was silly in a few places. It really was. Tons of bad RPGs doesn't mean they're all bad, right? Did you know the Crunchyroll vote is out now? Oh, I won't vote for it, Power. The Crunchyroll vote for like anime of the year and stuff like that is like I'm not even gonna call it rigged. It just doesn't have half the options. Did we ever find out what run the rerun event poll? No, we'll probably find out with like the next stream. I think the poll is up for a while. Same with MMOs. Yeah, I get that, Peanut. It's somehow worse than the Game Awards. Yeah, the Game Awards selectively picks things that it doesn't want to be part of it. Like Hogwarts Legacy. But then like you have Crunchyroll, which just says if you're not on Crunchyroll, you're not part of it. Are you planning to do any of the collab tonight? No, because like JP, I just spent all my stuff down. I saw someone saying FGO collab 1. So FGO collaborating with itself. Oh, the arcade collab. Um, I wouldn't be surprised. Back-to-back Bunyan events. I hope not. Wait, who pinged me? And why is the ping at NSFW? I see. Good shit. Okay. Um Maybe because they collab with Giga and Joey. I mean, I saw IGN put out like a watch list of like here's the order to watch Faden. I don't completely agree with the list, but I think it's one of those things where like a lot of people are always going to disagree unless it's the exact same list as them, and then they'll claim it's absolutely an amazing take and that like this is the way everyone should watch it, right? But what I did notice is on Twitter when IGN put that out today, that like everybody in the comments was constantly pinging Gigic and being like, yo, Gigic, did you see this? They're copying you, Gigic. Like, Gigic already did a video on this. And I'm like, heaven forbid, should the Fate fandom not have to rely on Gigic to form its opinion? Wild. Wait, we shit talking Crunchyroll? I mean, you can always shit talk Crunchyroll. I don't think anyone cares very much about it. Like even the people that watch stuff on Crunchyroll are, I'm pretty sure, just like, eh. By the way, chat, I was very pleased to see that essentially the new whatchamacallit Yakuza game is getting reviewed well. Like how many people got duped into buying Elden Ring because they didn't know it was a Souls game. Yeah, that's it'd be what it be, right? But I mean, I think Elden Ring's actually a great example of like, by the way, here is how like open world is just like the style of the game and not necessarily the actual gameplay, right? Like I think that's something to keep in mind is that like a lot of these can be wildly different. Okay. Okay, chat, you ready? Oh, fuck off. Hold on. Let me mute real fast. Okay. We're close. Sorry. The stand that this is my new mic stand, and I'm still kind of figuring out some of the kinks with it. I may switch where it's located, because that is definitely something I don't want to have happen in the middle of stream. Why does it say 2022? That's a good question. I like the way you think. Okay, so what just happened? What? There we go. Okay. Now it's working, chat. How about rate up and auto farming? Oh, no one's gonna want auto farming. I know people that play other games want it, but the devs basically have said no. Okay. Did you guys notice something here? Do you notice what's changing? Nothing? Oh no, there's stuff changing. Just not a whole lot. Just not a whole lot. Auto farming goes in the MP skip bucket? Yes. Okay. Just the date. Oh god, why does it feel like there's something in the edge of my eye? There we go. Oh shit, what was the name of this video exactly? Okay, here we go. Hey guys, my name's Khadroth, and today we're going to be talking to you about how FGO can improve as we look forward into 2024 here. So this is actually going to be the third time I have made this video. So we actually have a little bit of a nice list at this point that we can see, and I'm going to say that out of all the videos I've ever recorded, this one's not going to be probably the most positive for FGO. That is to say, while I will try to give you guys a positive spin on things, I am going to kind of grade them based off their past performance as to how I think they have done. Now, this is just a list of things that I have cobbled together, but it has largely been sort of the summation of things that the community has asked for over the years. There's obviously things I'm missing, and feel free, by the way, if I ever do miss something, that you guys can say down below in the comments what it is that you think FGO should change. I'll be curious to read your comments after I actually get done with the video. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and sort of grade the devs as to how they did for 2023. So on screen, you actually have the slide that I used last year for this, and it's an interesting thing to see sort of how little has changed. That is to say, as we start looking down this list, I'm going to try to make this video a little bit shorter than the prior video from the prior year, but essentially, we have to kind of at least talk about these to some degree. So right off the very get-go, you can see that I have that servant coins should be acquirable from events. Now, this absolutely doesn't have to be the case. You could definitely have servant coins available from other sources. One of those that have recently happened with it regards to like a possibility in that regard would be the Evocation Festival. The Evocation Festival came out in the prior year here during 2023, and I actually felt like that did help some of the stuff out, but it ultimately didn't really, fix everything. Evocation Festival is a really nice. No, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna completely restart that recording because I hate the way that fucking opening went. Okay, let's try this out. I don't know why, chat, but like my brain is stumbling all over itself at the moment. Hey guys, my name's Khadroth, and today we're going to be talking to you about how FGO can improve looking forward to 2024. So I've actually made this video for the past 2 years and counting now, and essentially we have a nice list of things to see how the devs have worked over time. We're going to be starting out by going back and kind of grading them on their performance, but this may not be the most positive section of the video given how, again, their performance sort of speaks for itself. But we are going to kind of go back through, look at the things that I had suggested for 2023, and see at the end of this now, as we're in 2024, did they actually do these things? So, to start off with, right off the get-go, we have servant coins should be acquirable from events. This was a thing I think that's been a hot button issue in the community. You don't have to have events be the only source of this, and I've talked about this before. This is just the source that I thought would probably be the best way to handle it back then. That is to say, it would be the most even-keeled and measured way to put coins in the game without making it so that they'd be infinitely farmable. As much as you or I may want that, the devs probably don't, as it would just allow us to complete the game even faster. So I thought putting it in events would be a rather good idea. That being said, during 2023, they did actually manage to have a decent sort of alternative pop up, and that was the Evocation Festival. If you guys are unaware of what that is, the Evocation Festival allowed you to actually acquire welfares using leaves that they give out in both events and login rewards and campaigns. So it's a really, really nice way of allowing new players to get access to the old welfares. It is possible, though, at some point that they actually managed to put all welfares in the Evocation Festival, and then you will still continue to acquire leaves as they are part of the login bonus. So as a result, over time, it is entirely possible that players would just have nothing to do with their leaves. This is where I think this could be a potentially good way to actually add coins to the game. They could do it either on a per servant basis, or they could instead try to do it by kind of like how they handle embers, by giving out like class specific coins where it's like, okay, here's caster coins and they can be used on any caster, or again, maybe even an all coin out there for covering your extra classes, or maybe just having the capability of using it on anyone. So I do think there are numerous ways they could go about it, but regardless, the whole crux of this one is fixed servant coins, and no, they get a failing grade on this one. They absolutely haven't done it. The devs even talked about it in one of the prior interviews, and they have not revisited it since, including the most recent anniversary interview where they just outright ignored it. So this is kind of a big issue, I think, with the community, and until this one's fixed, I think a lot of people are going to be upset. The next point on the list here that I have is that pity shouldn't reset. I see a lot of people that get upset over the amount that pity is set at, and I've talked about this before and why I think that's actually pretty fair given the sort of free acquisition rate of courts in the game. It's actually really easy to get currency to roll as long as you're patient and you save up, but a lot of people don't have that patience, and this is usually where we see a lot of the upsettedness come from on this topic. That being said, I think the better ways to fix pity are not on fixing the amount. I think it's actually adding more bells and whistles to the pity system. We have one of the most bare bones pity systems in all of gacha at this point in time. A lot of people get focused on the amount when the reality is pity absolutely should not reset. It should carry over into other banners. We should have it being applied to more than just the first copy. It should absolutely go deeper, because that might even incentivize people to roll more as a result if they knew that pity were going to cover them beyond just the first copy. And absolutely, I think there are ways of handling it where it maybe even would remember how much you had rolled on any particular unit, so that if you rolled them again on another banner down the line, you could have built something up for that towards the pity. But it is the way it is at the moment, and I think it's just something that the devs need to work on. So the change to pity doesn't have to be specifically the fact that it shouldn't reset. It could be any number of things, but ultimately, I think everybody wants to see the pity system improved at this point. And no, they haven't done anything in that regard. The only thing that they had done was actually basically now at this point over a year ago, and that was they tweaked the 4-star rate. So I can't really say that's directly related to pity. It was just more of a complaint. So yeah, they still got to get a failing grade on this one. The next point here is that FP should be faster to roll out. I still firmly believe this as somebody that plays JP and is a lot more free-to-play minded over there. I don't have the veritable horde of FP that people have usually when they do a shit ton of boxes in the lotto. I have started to do more boxes of late. This is equally due to, one, the desire to have more FP and more resources, but also due to the fact that I'm actually able to do it due to them having blue apples in the game and me being able to hoard it. So yeah, I desperately want to say that rolling out your FP is one of the worst experiences in FGO. It is mind-numbingly boring, especially for more veteran players. Nobody wants to have to do this anymore. It just takes forever. It's not good, and it basically gives you very little reward. I highly recommend doing it because the rewards are free, in fact. But at the end of the day, it's just a system that I think has become very antiquated in FGO and absolutely could use a quality of life upgrade. I think this is going to become more and more apparent to the NA crowd now that we have Grail casting, just how annoying rolling out your FP every single month, trying to get enough to be able to print a Grail kind of gets. So that'll be a thing as people start to run out of their coin hoards that they've had for basically, stockpiling for well over a year at this point. But who knows? NA players may not experience that for a while, so it'll just depend. But definitely, this is a huge issue. You don't want to be caught in that situation where you're having to roll out FP every single month. It is terrible. It is one of the least favorite aspects for me playing both servers. I highly, highly suggest that the devs give a greater amount that you can roll out. Give some quality of life with regards to FP. They haven't done really anything in that regard, so yet another failing grade. Quick needs more support options. So this is an interesting one. We have definitely had more quick units released, and some of them are like hybrid support units. We absolutely had like Summer Scotty come out a year and a half ago, but at this point that wouldn't fall under 2023's umbrella. So no, I can't say that they actually fixed Quick. Quick is still considered to be the worst of the 3 card types, or at least in the worst position of the 3 card types. A lot of this is just due to its lack of support options. That's where I think they really need to focus. Rather than trying to fix and upgrade every single Quick unit in the game, they need to instead just give Quick more viability by giving it more support options, particularly with regards to like sustain and other things, so that they don't have to cherry pick other classes, other card types supports. Again, obviously you could take a unit like Merlin or Castoria into a quick comp, and it is a thing, but they are ultimately devoted to other card types, and so this is sort of just quick having to rely outside of its own card type, unlike usually Arts and Buster, which tend to have enough support options within its card type. Again, I think any argument contrary to this just usually amounts to some level of bias on people and their parts, and usually they have a favorite card type whenever they're arguing against stuff like this. Quick just absolutely needs to get on the level as the other two card types, and it starts right there with the more supports. I can't really say that the devs have done very much in this. I'm not going to give them a failing grade, but I'm only going to give them like a D or a C here on this. This is just a thing for me, and it's really does not have to be a thing. It's more me talking about how, like with mix and match ascensions and MP animations, this sort of is coming from the concept of people want more ways to customize their units. More skins, more chromas, if you will. That was a thing that they kind of showed off on the arcade side of things. Having the ability to like have the second ascension with the third NP is kind of what I'm talking about here. But basically, any way to make the unit feel more unique to yourself, more like your version of the unit rather than the same as everybody else's version, I think is more than welcome in FGO, and I think it's something that they should look into. There's maybe not too much money to be made there, and still, unless they start looking at like a chroma or skin option, but I highly recommend that they do, because it would just print the money, especially for people's favorite units, and especially because people would just want more customizability. They haven't really done anything in this regard, but I'm not going to give them a failing grade because this is, to me, not nearly as essential as some of the other things. Next one up here is the faux pas print acquisition rate should be doubled. I even said this last year when I made the video that, in fact, you could probably quadruple it and it wouldn't be that bad. They have started to give out more faux pas prints in situations, and there was a huge influx at one point. But I'm not going to give them credit for that huge influx because of two reasons. One, they felt the need to do that huge influx because they had a relative dearth of events that they had run prior to that point in the year, and they really needed to kind of like get people enough to subsist. And two, the amount of faux pas that they gave out in that update was more than the sum total that they had provided in the game for the last 3 years. That's right. In one day, they gave out more faux pas than had prior existed in the game for the 3 years before that. So no, I don't really give them a pass. That's just more them making up for the past due. In that regard, looking forward, since that point that they gave out a bunch, they haven't really done anything to increase the rate. They are sometimes available more often now in campaigns. It's not really enough. I can't even say that it's doubled the rate. It hasn't even like 1.5 times the rate. So they really do need to do something about this. Faux pas prints just feel completely underwhelming in the sense that, like, if their entire goal from the devs' point of view is to be a QP sync, they fail at that because they don't even give them out often enough for them to actually act as such. So they absolutely need to start giving them out more. It's pathetic. We should not have a point at which the rate of maxing out an entire unit for all their faux pas takes 2.5 years. It should absolutely be more than that. From here, the craft essence leveling needs quality of life. This is still a thing. This has been on the list since 2022. In fact, I have the 2022 list right here. You guys can see there is not a lot that changes between the two lists. So at the end of the day, yeah, they absolutely need to do something about this. The good news on this one is Mr. 2 did sort of allege something along the lines. And what I've talked about for the quality of life here for leveling up your craft essences is that, have you guys ever tried to level up a unit and you hit the button in the top right of the level up screen, the enhancement screen there, where it will allow you to add 20 embers at a time? That's great for leveling. They need something like that for craft essence leveling. If they want people to actually level up their craft essences to actually make CE bombs and stuff like that, they need to actually make it just way easier. It is just super tedious and time consuming, and is part of the reason that rolling out your FP is so bad. So absolutely, this needs to be something that's looked at. Mr. 2 has thankfully said that they are thinking about something along those lines, but hey, we are basically 6 months removed from him making those statements, and we still really haven't seen anything at this point. So yeah, they still get an absolute failing grade. I don't care what Mr. Chu says. He has to actually do something. That's kind of the issue you're noticing probably by now with a lot of these is regardless of dev statements, they haven't done anything on these. And that's sort of the issue that we're going to have as we start to look forward. The next one here is actual account-based security options. I would love for there to actually be an account system in FGO where, again, you have an account, you can transfer between devices at will. You don't have to use transfer codes. Everything is maybe locked and saved to some sort of social media or some other binding account that you have, and therefore you can't lose it. I think it's one of the worst things in FGO that people can just outright lose their accounts, and then again, the support system in this game is pretty notorious for when people contact support, they end up, having to provide information. If they don't provide everything to a T, they can end up losing their account and never getting it back. I think this is one of the fastest ways to lose a player. It's one of the fastest ways for FGO to lose money is to have somebody brick their account, be unable to get it back, and all of that stems from this right here. Transfer codes are interesting. They definitely allow for certain freedoms in that regard, but I do not think they are worth it, and I think it would be far better to go to the account system that at this point nearly every other gacha game uses. So please, devs, please, I'm begging you, just do something so that you will stop losing, devoted fans over stupid stuff like this. So again, they get a failing grade in this regard. In the past, they have done some stuff with regards to allowing like iTunes account binding and stuff like that, but really we haven't seen too much of it since then, and they really need to up their ante. The rate of unit upgrades needs to increase. So you guys know I was talking about this last year. This was prior in 2022, my original point was that they actually needed to start doing upgrades to the old welfares and summer units. We started to see that happen over time, so I instead changed it to just saying, okay, since they've kind of started to do that, just the rate of unit upgrades overall needs to increase as the servant roster bloats. And we've just kind of seen this not actually be taken care of. They still do their upgrades, but we very rarely ever have strengthenings and interlude campaigns anymore. And at this point, you're kind of just looking at them, even though they've said they want to do upgrades when it's relevant to. There have been plenty of opportunities for units that absolutely have needed upgrades that have just passed them right by. Obviously, I think some of this is in the eye of the beholder, where it really depends on your opinion on a unit. But needless to say, I think everyone at this point is underwhelmed by the rate at which they are doing upgrades in the game. And they definitely need to start doing more to help, sort of the back end keep pace with even the middle of the pack, let alone, your sort of power creep pushing units that are on the front end, sort of catapulting the game forward. They absolutely have to start making some of these other units more viable. I know FGO likes to have its strong, powerful units, but again, I think it's a bad thing for the game when everybody knows who the most powerful unit of each class is, and basically there is no debate as to situational usefulness. That's the way FGO originally started out, was having niches and having people be, pretty even-keeled, and certain units in certain situations being better. But now we absolutely do have some units that are just better in all situations, and that is not a good design for them overall. It's obviously great when their banners roll around. It's obviously not great when the other units' banners roll around. It's just kind of, I think, making their banners make less over time. The devs are maybe seeing that as a lack of enthusiasm, or it's just because it's an old character, when the reality of it is people still love that character, but they just don't see the point in rolling for it because that unit is so far behind in terms of performance. So not everybody's going to think like that. People will still roll for units because they're characters that they like, and that's fine. But overall, this is just going to hurt them in the long run, and they absolutely need to fix the game's balance. So they get a failing grade in that regard. I can't even give them like a D or something because they are just barely doing any upgrades nowadays. Bond Cs need to be improved. Thankfully, this did get talked about during the anniversary interview again. So Mr. Chu talked about it back during the 2022 anniversary. He then got asked it again during the 2023 anniversary, aka last year's interview. And he basically said, like, yes, that is a thing. We are still working on it. Please, stay tuned. We still haven't really seen the results on this. So kind of per my other one, I have to give them a failing grade. For every single year this is still a thing, they're just going to keep getting failing grades in this. I just want to see them try. I just want to see them do something. The fact that we just keep getting lip service on some of these is something they absolutely have to work on. The next point here is the coin interface needs to be lockable. I still stand by this one. We actually did. This is the only one where I'm going to give the devs a B rank. The devs actually did something here. That is to say, they improved the amount of filters you can put in the coin interface. And what am I talking about? So if you go into Grail casting, you'll notice that they actually have systems at play that allow for them to now filter, at least on the JP side of things. NA still, in the Stone Age in that regard. But JP now has it so that you can filter things a little bit better so that you don't necessarily see all the coins that you may accidentally feed. And that is sort of the issue at play here, is you don't want to accidentally feed some 3 stars coins that, is actually story locked or limited because you didn't realize, or you just had a momentary lapse in judgment or attention span. That's the issue with this. I cannot believe they do not allow for the locking of coins so that you cannot accidentally burn them in Grail printing. But it is what it is, right? Like, I have to give them credit for at least putting in a new filter. They did something in that regard to help improve it. But yes, to me, they still need to just allow locking. And I can understand why that system is at least different than other systems and why that might be a little bit more difficult for the devs to implement. But I do think they absolutely should go that extra length for it. The next one here is better interaction with the community. Where do I even begin here? So this is a difficult one. I've been, covering the game for years and years and years at this point. I think the devs' interaction with the community overall has been abysmal. I will go ahead and give them a C on this. And the reason why is because it is vastly improved from the COVID years where we basically just did not hear from them and had no live events. We actually have had some live events, and admittedly, they are at least trying with regards to having JP host things more, having the streams be pre-recorded so that the quality of them kind of goes up, and also now having Crony and Ina do streams as well. We have had 2 of those to date. I'll be curious to see if they do more going forward, but I will give them a little bit of credit for doing at least a little bit more. I'm going to say this again. I think they're still doing a piss poor job. I think they can absolutely do more. We have had our chat. What's the dev videos that I'm trying to think of? With Mr. 2 talking, and I don't know why I'm just drawing such a complete blank here. Dev diaries, thank you. We have had the dev diaries come, and they have been a thing, but they've also been really sporadic. They're not on any set schedule. And I've talked about before FGO kind of needing to, especially the US side of things, they need to lean into the schedule and the fact that people have clairvoyance. And instead of leaning into it, they keep trying to pretend and make believe that nobody knows what's going on, that we don't know what's coming ahead of time. I think they need to lean into it. I think they need to, during the dev diaries, actually start talking to us about the upcoming schedule way more than like, oh, hey, here's the next event. They need to actually lay out a schedule for us. That is how Korea does it. And I think Korea is doing a wonderful job in that regard, at least. I think lay out the next schedule, at least until the next dev diary. Kind of plot out when you think your dev diaries are going to occur on a yearly basis. That shouldn't be too hard. The devs absolutely know their schedule ahead of time. So I think they should do that and then say, like, okay, from each dev diary to each next one, here's the schedule upcoming. And just kind of lay it out so that people know when to expect it. You don't even necessarily have to use exact dates. Just say like, yeah, like mid-February, this is going to be this. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that gives people at least enough notice to plan around it and kind of like obviously make any real life plans they need to adjust it should they desire to. But at the end of the day, that I think is absolutely great. I would also love to see them sit down and answer community questions at some point, do some sort of developer Q&A, and not with the canned questions that you guys like write for yourselves. I want to see the devs actually like field questions from the community. And it doesn't have to be live. They could absolutely say, hey, please submit questions to us. But, I would like to see some of the more tougher questions answered and not just this like canned response. I understand that the NA devs on this side of things absolutely can't answer certain questions without JP approval, but I think it would be absolutely worth it and would absolutely show a good step forward and a good amount of trust in interacting with the community. And I think it would be really, really a smart move for them overall. So yes, their interaction absolutely needs to do better, but I will give them credit for the amounts that they have been doing to this point. So from here, the last point that I had for 2023 was the rate of main story should be increased. Oh boy, they blew that one. This, if I could give an F-, I would give it for this. The rate of main story has decreased, not increased. Last year was one of the slowest years that FGO has ever had. Overall, they're starting to use events more and more to advance story rather than just the main story singularities to stretch things out. But they actually ran a record low number of events. That is to say, on JP, they had to run 2 events in December to even get to 10 events for the entire year. That's not a good sign. They absolutely have to increase the rate of literally everything, but story is one of the main attractions for FGO. Content pacing in general just needs to get way better. They get an absolutely failing grade. This is the worst thing on the list, and they absolutely must do better for 2024, or else the game will drastically suffer if it continues down this same path. So that is 2023 in a nutshell. You can see I gave them a lot of failing grades. There's a lot of things they need to improve on. So as a result, because they didn't get anything that was like an A, 2024 is the exact same. I am not changing anything for 2024. All of the issues in the community are the exact same as they have been. We did not get really any substantive quality of life last year that people really wanted. We definitely got nice things like the Evocation Festival, but that was sort of an overdue fix for needing, the main interludes to start returning. I'm happy to see that they're doing things in that regard, but even the Evocation Festival in and of itself is just sort of a shadow of what a main interlude was supposed to be. The main interludes were supposed to be the rerun of an event that allowed you to replay through the story and gave you access to all the things you could earn during the event, including welfares, CEs, and you name it. They haven't done that at all. And they've even commented on that as of the anniversary interview last year, where they said, we are aware and we do plan to bring the stories back. So I hope they do, because that's absolutely something that they should do. But they haven't done it yet. And until I actually see that, you'll forgive me for being a skeptic, given their statements on, oh yes, we'll never run challenge quests in a lotto. We're going to fix the coin system. They haven't really done any of these things at this point. They've either gone back on their word or they haven't kind of actually done the things that the community most wants them to do. So I want to see them actually put the community first over their money. That's kind of the issue that I see looking forward into JP this year. I want to see in 2024 the devs actually put the community first. Give us a way to farm servant coins, even if it is a limited farm. Allow us to be able to get it. Pity should absolutely get better for 2024. Please, I'm begging you, don't make FGO be the laughing stock of all the other gacha games out there. FP should not be nearly as tedious. We just want the game to value our time. Quick needs absolutely more support options as we look forward. Yes, we've gotten some interesting units, but I really want to see some new sort of expanded capability. I don't care who you use, what character it is. It could be Abe no Seimei, or it could literally just be a third release of Scotty for all I care. It just needs to be somebody that actually expands how quick can function and in what different sort of node structures and challenge types that it can handle. Again, customization, I think, is just really a good way for them to expand into making more money. Let's see some live 2D skins. let's see some crazy stuff that we see coming out of some of these other gacha games. Let's actually get FGO caught up to modern gacha expectations in that regard. Faux pas prints, just ridiculous. Like I said, if you're going to implement systems, it kind of goes hand in hand with things like class score as well. Like, make sure that they're actually viable and they're actually coming out at a decent pace so that people can do them. I know the devs don't want to have to do more work. They don't want to have to figure out yet another system to keep the players playing. But at the end of the day, a system that never is able to be completed is not much of a system at all. So they definitely need to kind of work on their systems management as they go forward. Again, craft essence leveling. This is another quality of life feature I just still cannot believe has not been added. Actual account-based security options. I'm beating a dead horse at this point. The whole point is y'all understand things have got to get better with FGO in 2024. Please don't have a repeat of 2023. It is one of the worst performing years, I think, in the history of FGO, just in terms of pretty much every metric you can look at. Other than money, I think FGO still made a ton of money in 2023, and I think it will continue to make a ton of money as we go forward. I don't want to sound all doom and gloom. The game is not going anywhere. But in that regard, I just want to see the devs actually value their players a little bit more and make the game better for everybody, including themselves. Because I think as they make the game better, this game will take off again, and it will actually make more money for them. Let me know what you guys think. What did I miss here? What would you like to see improved as we move forward to 2024? I'll be curious to hear your thoughts, and I will see you guys for the next one. All right, there you go, chat. Like I said, that sucks. I hate having to record stuff like that. But it is what it is. My number one priority would be account security. Yeah. I think like I said, to me, that's the worst way to lose someone. Like, you know, somebody that's just having a blast in FGO. They love the game. They love the characters. They've been playing it for years. And then like some shit happens where they need to transfer devices and they somehow don't do it right and they brick their account and they can't get it back. That is the worst way to lose a player. The worst. Video title is FGO dead in 2024. No, it's not. But like I said, they absolutely got to get better. 2023 was a travesty in that regard. Is Sinoriku a quick support? No, but she is a like quick Omni looper. Want interludes to come back? Yeah, I'm gonna say this: if their bottleneck is not the writers and is actually on the like animation and coding staff, I'm really surprised that you haven't seen stuff like interludes be a thing. Kaizo, thank you for the tier 1, appreciate it, man, and thank you again for the 10 gift sub bomb earlier. Spend $300 just to lose it all, right? Exactly. Like I don't think anyone wants to see stuff like that happen, right? Some are good, but it won't justify the big L's. Yeah, I agree with that, Zariel. Like at the end of the day, I love the fact that like they're still releasing characters that I find cool and interesting, but I think like extrapolating all of the good things I like about FGO, I am not shy about saying that 2023 was the worst year FGO has ever seen. Like they basically did nothing. Like Evocation Festival was nice. They did add new CEs coming, or sorry, old CEs coming back as well in the Mana Prism shop. So it's like they added some stuff that I think is good for new players. That's kind of the issue. I love the fact that they're taking care of new players, but you have to take care of your veterans. If you don't take care of your veterans, who's going to tell the people that the game is good and try to get people to play the game? How are you going to get the new players without making sure that the people that are currently playing are having a good time? That's what they've got to do. 2 main story chapters in 13 months. Yeah, it's like I said, I really want them to improve. I'm hopeful that 2024 that they do, right? Word of mouth is powerful. Oh yeah, and I think word of mouth has been working against FGO, at least like in the West, right? I think word of mouth has been working against FGO for years. Retro, they give you the 20. Here's hoping it brings good luck on my YOLO ticket rolls for Reigns. Good luck. I'd recommend FGOs in years 1 through 6 nowadays. Yeah, like it's kind of wild that we can look back and say like it would have been just better to play in prior years, right? I still have the hopium that they'll release a character for quick support this year in the form of Tamamo Aria. Even if Nasu could say that he doesn't like the character or whatever. Oh, I haven't heard whether or not Nasu said anything on Aria. Is that what people are saying? Because like I haven't heard that at all. I assumed that Arya was not going to be playable because Arya didn't really have any animations, and that like I don't think like I think a lot of people like got like really into her due to like a lot of the memes that came out after the fact and the animation that they did. But I don't know. Like to me, I don't think she's like nearly as big on the like Japanese side of things, but maybe she is, right? So like I assume that she was not like very high on their list of people that they wanted to come into FGO. But I'm going to say this. I don't think like just because you didn't come in with a collab that means you'll never see the light of day in FGO. Right? Like we've seen that happen numerous times where they release a unit well after the fact. They had comments that they won't be putting all the Tamamo 9s in FGO. That made me very smash. I mean, I'll say this. We don't even really know all the Tamamo 9, do we? So it's like, unless they wanted to actually flesh all of that out, that's not that surprising of a statement. But I'm also going to say, like, that doesn't mean that you won't get Arya. Like, I don't want to, like, hopium you too much, right? But, like, in the same way that, like, people were way too overbearing demanding Tamamo Arya, I'm also going to counter that by saying that, like, people should not just immediately give up either, right? Like, again, we've seen how long it takes them to implement some units. I think Nasu hasn't designed them all. Right. Tamamo and Fate Extra was good though. I mean, yeah, I have no bone to pick with Tamamo, right? Like in all seriousness, I did find a lot of the like sudden surge in like demands and stuff for Tamamo Aria to be really annoying. But like outside of that, and like I don't put that on Tamamo or Aria. I put that on like fans being annoying, right? Because that's how we all are when we want something. The wait for Tiamat. I still maintain that nobody kept playing this game for Tiamat. That is to say, Tiamat is a thing. People wanted Tiamat, but like the reasons people were still playing FGO was not Tiamat. They were playing FGO because they had other characters that they liked and were looking forward to, right? Because I think for a long period in time, people like just kind of assumed and knew that she was not going to be a thing. And then like Arcade is where like people finally were like, wait, there's hope. And like I understand after that point people getting excited, so there's a poll on App Media and she was ranked second only below the welfare. Right, but like how much of that was brigading? And I'm dead serious, right? Like because I feel like that's a ton of people that would just sit there and absolutely go in there and be like, oh my god, Ari is the greatest, I'm gonna vote for it because that was like the thing, right? With that being said, maybe it's just a misstep on the devs part. Maybe she is that popular in JP. I don't know. I don't speak for the JP community in that regard. Really, I don't speak for any community other than my own. Well, we got Proto Merlin. I knew Tiamat would come. We got Proto Merlin. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I still to this day remember a certain somebody who I'm not going to drag their name through the mud, but I still remember a certain somebody absolutely insisting that we would never get any of the arcade units over in FGO because they were exclusive. And that the devs had insisted this was the case. And I was like, no, they never said that, but okay. So I will never forget that because it's just one of those things where I was like, that is certainly a hill to go die on. Like Sita rolling. Yeah, I mean, like out of all of them, Sita is the one that you could make that case for, but like every every single like unit? No, not a chance, right? Like, and I've pointed this out before, chat. I want you to think like a corporate scumbag for a second, okay? So think like a corporate scumbag. You have just come up with a new product. And you are selling the new product over here. Okay? So like over here. But then you see that people over there might also buy the product. What do? Do you sell the product over there? Or do you go, no, I will stay right here? So your options are make the current amount of money you're making or make more money. What do? Yeah, you market it to the other side. Like I knew the freaking arcade units were going to come, and it was just a matter of timed exclusivity. That's all it was. They just wanted people to play arcade. Santa Fran, please. Right. Yeah, and like in that regard, I don't think you'll see every unit from arcade, but you definitely got a lot. I would love an omnibus Christmas. What do you think of Zhang Ju and his Bonsi to support Rasputin? Let me go look at his Bonsi because I don't remember it off the top of my head. Increases the party's NP damage and the party's received buff success rate by 20%. Let me go look at Rasputin because I don't remember the exact wording of his gut skill. I assume that's what you're talking about. Ra ra Rasputin, lover of the Russian queen. Grand Self gut status was activates a chance to guts when defeated. I mean, yeah, I in a weird way think that would potentially work. Your only issue would be there is a actual turn duration on it, so like you would make it foolproof, I would think, but only for those turns, so it's not like infinite. Who's Rama's wife? Sita. Sita is the one that, at least by lore and legend, they are never supposed to meet. That help. Yeah, I just had to go look at the actual wording because sometimes the wording of a skill may reveal that it's like, oh, it's not actually affected by that. But I think it would be. You found difficulty in terms of developing her dialogue and yada yada. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. She basically talks like a child, right? She has very short, simple sentences and struggles to say like what she means and what she feels. I wish the game had an official version for PC. My bad potato computer struggles to run an emulator. I mean, wouldn't your potato computer struggle to run the game then as well? I'm using a challenge scenario supported by him because he isn't pretty much 3 turns of taunts and guts. Yeah, like you wouldn't be able to kill him during those 3 turns, but like, I mean, he's not the only unit out there that has stuff like that, so. Having an interlude where Rama proves worthy and breaks the curse, bing bang boom. I would think that would prove way more worth to like have an actual story about. Oh yeah, no, I'm well aware emulators are unoptimized piles of shit. Yeah, they just have to developer kit. But like I said, that's why I assumed that like I did not think she was one of the like big ticket players for the game that they were going to focus on. And I did not think that they were going to try to develop her to put her in. So I think like a little bit it was somewhat unreasonable expectations by the community, but I understand because they really like her, right? If that makes any sense. So I think it's just a disconnect between dev expectations and player expectations. He wasn't a big key character, right? I mean, there were like, Cad, there were plenty of y'all that were like, Cad, why aren't you using Tamamo Aria? Cad, use Tamamo Aria. Cad, all I'm doing is using Tamamo Aria. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I used her like once or twice. I'm like, then I proceeded to use the other servants because other servants exist. It's like it's just a case of like how to spot a simp, right? But it's like, yeah, it just I don't know. I enjoyed using the other people. Cat just a hater confirmed SMH my head. No, I'm just not blind. What do you mean other servants? I mean like the other rogues. Unless you're just memeing me. But that was probably meta slaving too. I mean, no, because like, okay, so chat. I cannot tell you how much easier it made the game to have yet another body you could switch to that just took all the blunt of the attacks and just like absolutely wombo comboed the enemy while they were out. Like, y'all would think Arya's meta. I'm telling you she's not. I'm telling you it's absolutely more meta to be able to like swap to a different character because it just gets you out of so many bad situations. Like if you want to see like spike damage, sure, go for it, right? Like I'm not gonna argue it. You're not gonna hear me say like Tamamo Arya is bad, but Cat doesn't really know how to play. Doesn't NP5 Melis and everything. Oh, you're right. You're right. How dare I actually understand the game's mechanics? How dare I be able to get away with less? Make a Sita and Rama skin, but you could borrow Rama. That would actually be hilarious, but like at the same time, I don't know, right? I'd rather just see Sita. I think that would piss off a lot of people that wanted Sita in the game. How dare you? Please stop. Listen, like I said, I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to like shit on any of this, but naturally, chat, the more like obsessed and unhinged you become, the more like I counter that. So y'all gotta understand that you know what you're getting into. And I've talked about this before. If you guys need to understand like the core of who I am pretty close to a white knight. I'm not a white knight because I've gotten older and I understand things now. But like the way I would describe myself is I am an anti-bully. And those that know me understand that point. That like if I see you going after someone, I am going to go after you. If I see you being annoying, I'm going to annoy you. It's just how I work. The more unhinged you become, the more you get memed on. Exactly. It's basically the golden rule, right? Treat others how you would want to be treated. Yui was more fun to add. In that regard, like I am really surprised that they added Yui. I was hoping they would. I did not expect them to. I thought you would probably get like like Rogue Saber, or like, I don't know, like heaven forbid, Lancer Jalter. But like, I don't know. Chasing someone in the middle of the night, suddenly Khadroth appears running towards you from 50 meters away. Yep. Even if the art for her was half-assed, I'd still take it. Yeah. I think the collab was more like the only chance Iori and Shosetsu had to be added. I agree with that. And I do agree. I think like Arya has the potential to be put into the game at a later point. And that's why I said like Tamamo Arya fans, do yourself a favor. Be better. Be better than the other people that constantly go, "Where is my Rin face?" I'm joking. I'm sorry, Ren fans. But like the whole point is, don't be that guy that's sitting there constantly chomping at the bit for like the servant, right? But don't also at the same time like write it off as a possibility. I see basically people are usually on like one side or the other. It's either like all or nothing. Like either woe is me, we are never getting Arya, or like, oh my god, Cad, when are we getting Arya? 2 seconds later, Cad, when are we getting Arya? Cad, I didn't hear if you answered my question. When are we getting Arya? Like, moderation in all things. Meme about it, but don't get serious. It's a game. Yeah. Cat is also anti-red fence. No, it's just like like I said before, like I love to meme on the Rin fans because the Rin fans can get super annoying, but also at the same time, like I understand, and the Rin fans actually have at this point they actually have a like bone to pick with the devs. Cad, is Arya the Valentine's unit? For every time I'm asked that question, I more hope that it is not. But like, yeah, I have no idea who Valentine's is this year, so like maybe it is, right? Beg the gotcha gods for summer Ereshkigal. Yep. No Bazette is the Valentine's unit. Well, for NA, yes. Is Iori stronger than Shiro? I don't know. I don't want to get into Samurai Remnant spoilers for those who haven't played, but lore-wise, I at least have a major issue with something that happens in Samurai Remnant. Like I basically chalk it up to like, all right, this was purely for video game and it's absolutely non-canonical. But we'll see, right? Like maybe it's a thing. Hope you're having a good day today. I am. Other than I appear to be having all sorts of weird drainage and clogging nose issues. Chaldea Boys was sort of a pseudo Gouda Gouda. I don't know about that. Yuri has more technique, but Shiro has harem protagonist EX, so it's a draw. Well, all I'm trying to say on that is I'm not really sure canonically how strong Iori is. And like, I guarantee you I will get like lore people being like, well, actually can. But like my issue with this is like there's just something that happens in Samurai Remnant that I basically can't accept. And I think it's because it's rather like tone deaf. So it's like, we'll see. That may just be a me issue, but like until I actually see someone talk about it, I think it's gonna live in the land of like supposition for me. Sure is always in a weird spot because they retcon a lot of his feats. Yeah, kind of right. Tired Reich, thank you for the follow. Iori should be stronger since older people are built different. Oh, you're saying in comparison to Shiro? Yeah, like I said, that's a weird one to me. I have no idea, right? Like Iori seems like really like crazy strong, but I don't know like how much of that is like he's strong because it's a video game and we need him to be, versus like, hey, this is like actually how lore strong he is. If that makes any sense. Shiro loses 90% of his viability. Well, that depends on the route, but perhaps. Chat, I did get Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. We're gonna play some P to the A to the L world. I'm gonna attempt to move this down so it's not constantly in my face. At least like playing FGO is going really fast right now, so it's giving me plenty of time to record, especially since I've been late to stream. Real quick chat, let me do this because I have to actually like grab the ISP. I think I'm gonna leave like song request on because like honestly Palworld just does not really have music. Can the pals evolve? No, there's no evolution yet in Palworld, and I don't know that they'll allow it. Ugh. Lucky Ferocious Artisan Swift and is a 4-star now? Jesus. Wait, how many chickens did you catch? Like what? That is a lot. Why are all my pals starving and hungry and have major issues? Like, okay, so they're in good conditions. Okay, so most of the people here are in good condition now. I didn't know I was a pal? Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely possible, chat. Oh god, 190 cement is too much. Today I learned. Why is cement so damn heavy? Okay, no, like, okay, never mind. I actually understand why that one would be heavy. That one makes sense to me. Dude, what are you doing with my cement? Let go of my ego, man. Okay, so I have 40 gunpowder as well still. Gotta put some of this in my thingamajig. What exactly do I need cement for? It's for some of the higher level buildings and crafts. I kind of want to save it for rifle ammo. Oh my god. What the hell? Jesus, dude. Like, what? That is easily the heftiest raid I've ever gotten. Okay, we're gonna close that because I can. Oh my god. Dude, my mons are like all dead. Incapacitated, major injury. '69's monstrous game, having a desire to breed with humans. Yeah. It is literally this. Enjoy. Holy hell. Like, that was terrifying. Also, I'm pretty sure it's like burning my stables. So you want to like, you want to like put that out? Oh my god. There you go. Yeah, spit on it. Get it in there real deep like. I'm not even sure if he's actually doing anything. Yeah, please don't let the box burn. Sir, what? I think FGO needs to improve the UI. I think like the way the UI looks is perfectly fine. I think there's definitely some like small quality of life that they could do to help out the UI though. Okay, so Nico. And what can I craft in terms of a riding saddle? Could do a Mamarest one. Would need way more Paldium. Oh, Conceited's terrible. Okay. Making sure everybody here that, like... that can work, can, right? Because I have to replace all the ones that got downed. Wow, I only have one Foxparks? Okay. That should at least get the base back online. I'm gonna go get some well, let's handle the eggs here. Can you breed things like you can in Pokemon? Yes. Oh, I got a Kitsune. Yo, what is that? Go ahead and put that in there. A Vanworm Crest? Didn't realize there was a ice version of it. A beacon. You got Aria. Ooh, a War Sect. I've heard those are good. Okay, no eggs in that. Well, let's just take a Verdant. You can see some of the other ones take quite a bit to actually finish. You got Kabuterimon? I don't even know what that is. Okay, so let's see the Crest.
Yeah.
Intriguing. It doesn't look like he has a pal skill. Oh no, okay, so it's just flying with him. It's just locked. It's Beyblade? I see. Yeah, let's see War Sect. So, oh, he's a workaholic one. Looks like he's got decent tasks. Oh, look, Chad, it's a Heracross. And off he flew, just like Hera. And then the Kitsune?
Yeah.
Oh, yo, that looks good. And you can ride him. Hey, yo. What's this guy's stats? So he's brave, so he has plus 10% attack. Looks like he's fire based. Requires a kitsune saddle. I really wish that like you just unlocked saddles for like riding mounts and then saddles for flying mounts. I wish you didn't have to like keep unlocking them one by one, if that made any sense. Because like it's stupid that like, oh hey, you got the Pokemon and you had the ability to fly on other Pokemon, but you can't use that one because you're not specifically high enough level for that one. Apparently I am high enough level for the kitsune though. And then I'll have the Dark Pyron one next time. Same as Arc. Yeah, I don't think that's a good one. What's an epic item? Looks like we have enough, so let's start production. Gonna be able to ride on my level 1 mount. Okay, well, he's working on that. Let's see what else I got here. I have an alpha jolt hog? What the hell? Oh, she actually has like a shit ton of stuff. Come on, faster. You can do it. Okay. Good job, asshole. Well, I'm not sure how fast he is, but he will work. At least until we get Nico back. Chat. Let us put on the heat resist gear. And let us go to the volcano. They added in the ability to have mounts. It was hilarious to see someone riding around on crabs. What? Scorching egg. Dude, this guy has like such a huge fucking tail. More van worms. Some great texturing going on there. I don't know how there's any wood in the volcano, but I guess. Really good iron mine. Miscrits? I see. Okay, so chat, we have learned the hard way that lava is fire. Gonna do the whole Pepe Le Pew thing where I just boing, boing, boing up stuff. Okay, looks like that's not gonna work. Well, looks like you can keep going up. The volcano is quite tall. Oh, what the hell? I did not want to land on that. Ooh, looks like we have a scorching egg as well. Swimming in lava. So, like, a lot of the times the lava isn't actually hard, and you can see, like, I get lit on fire. Actually, in this case, my Nightwing got lit on fire. So, specifically, my Pokemon is burning. Somehow that is now impacting me. I just want to see what's at the top of the volcano. They're actually convection. There is definitely the concept that, like, if you don't have heat gear, you will start taking damage. Yeah, it does appear like it's damaging my Nightwing. So I need to stop getting too close to lava. That don't keep happening. We're near the top now. Brothers of the Eternal Pyre. Okay, so it looks like there is actually a tower up here. That's good. That means now I don't have to, like, climb up here ever again. Assuming I get it before I spontaneously combust. But yeah, I've seen it where if the heat resist was too low, I start taking damage. I had no idea that my Pokemon could basically start taking damage. That's kind of nutty, all things considered. I like how he's just already level 3, even though I haven't really done anything with him. Oasis. I'm not gonna get that. No problem, Katana. Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, an egg. Ooh, an egg. Hyper and Gigasphere. Okay, so this is a statue? Well, it looks like we got a tree down here. And a teleport point. And the tree has nothing on it. That is like super underwhelming. Mount Obsidian Anubis statue? Well, yeah. I guess I can see that. It's another Buhi. Why is he 34? Holy shit. I was gonna capture him, but goddamn. Are there pals that swim? Supposedly, but I think it still takes stamina. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know what the hell that thing was down there. Is this also... Yeah, so it's also coal. I wasn't sure because it looked different because it's in the sunlight. That's a 37 Bushi. What the... What is that? A fanglope? Huh. Level 36, so it's above my ability to capture it. Oh, that's where there's incinerams. Servant is the only pal that has infinite stamina in water? Oh, that's weird. So you can, like, go anywhere in a serpent? I don't get that though. Like, why bother having any pals then at that point? Because then everyone's just going to use Serpent, right? Like, to me, either they all should have it or none of them should have it. Okay, let's go up to the peak of the volcano. There are some insane high-level flying pals you always use as well. Yeah, I mean, like, one of the issues I have with using Nightwing is he's just slow as all shit. And he probably would be faster if I, like, leveled up his trait some. But, like, I don't know that I care to. God, there's so much sulfur here. Oh, thank God. They're just fighting each other and no one realizes that I'm... Okay, that one dude realizes that I'm here. Ooh, an egg. Ooh, piece of egg. You want to attempt Blazement with me? No. I am nowhere near the high enough level. If you are, go for it. But like, nah, it's... I don't want to do it under level either. Like, I'm still only 31. Or 32, I think, actually. I don't know. Ooh, an egg. I'm not. I'm below your level. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. I hate doing placement at this level. We would do no damage, and you would need so much ammo. Like, I am not wasting it. Oh, I hungry. I hunger. No! Whee! Do I have anything I can eat? That singular berry. Oh, and some bread. Bread good. Okay, chat. I feel like feeding Nightwing should, like, bread should be absolutely up his alley because he's like a glorified pigeon. But, like, it takes so much bread to feed that pigeon. Like, this man over here just gobbling baguettes. It doesn't really feel like there's a lot back here on this side of the island. He says as he nearly overlooks that. Bread isn't really great sustenance for birds. How would you know, man who lives in Philadelphia? Can Cat already capture a beacon? I don't know. It depends on their level, I guess. If there's one below 32, I probably can. Or why are there just a bunch of dudes with flamethrowers chilling out on top of a rock? Yeah, it just feels like there's a ton of terrain here and like no teleport points, no points of interest. Like the volcano seems, at least the backside here, seems like a huge waste of space. I keep crumbs. I don't get it. And his is 28. Yeah, I mean, I have a beacon. I've hatched a couple of them. Oh god, it's becoming dark. Got that large scorching egg. Oh, Blaze Howl. What the fuck are you? Bro, is that a Blazement? Shit. Okay, we're just gonna keep rubber. And then I'm gonna try to use my hyperspheres. The rate's not actually that bad, thank God. Let's go! First try? What? I got your egg. I got your egg.
Yeah.
Dude, he's already 13. What the fuck? Oh, that thing's like in the middle of this. That is a Teostra. I see. Catch it using the power of friendship? No, I caught it the American way. Using the power of guns and oppression. That was the only way. Oh no, I kind of need a place to land here. Where the hell am I? So freaking dark. There's the beach over there. Oh my god, there's just an egg like everywhere I look down here. This place may suck for like actual resources, but for eggs it's fantastic. Oh, I don't need arrows. I also don't need that 2 coal. My god, there's another egg. The scorching eggs really stand out at night, thank god. Guy's really a corporate leader in the making. Wait, based off what? Okay, so now we got another green lift monk energy thing. I just want a teleport point. I see one, chat. There's one all the way down there. Yeet! Thank God there's no fall damage while on mounts. It's just food. Ooh, a ball. Oh my god, it's another egg. I'm just gonna start throwing out the small eggs because I don't think they really matter at this point. I suspect it's up here. Oh, what is that? A blaze howl knocked? I want it. What? What game am I playing? Like, huh? What do you mean captured on the first try? And I'm like 4 levels too low. Game has reverse capture. Yeah, I don't know about that. Ooh, chat's castle. Wait, what the fuck? This is like a big ass castle. What the fuck? I need it. Chat, did you guys see the Avatar The Last Airbender trailer? Oh my god, my Pokemon's too fat to squeeze through. There's a new one? I don't know. I saw one drop today, I think. What the hell? Dude, I found Anne Orlando. Place is cool. If it has actual resources, I'll build my base here. Spoiler, it probably doesn't. Oh yeah, I heard there's a glitch that allows you to capture like the actual tower bosses. Oh my god, there's at least a ton of eggs. I can't get in there, it's a small egg anyways. Okay, hold on, we've got at least 1 iron. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. We're looking for an area that has at least a decent amount of buildable land, but also has like some ore nodes. Ooh, a Pokeball. I low-key want to replay Dark Souls 1. No, you don't. You want to replay Dark Souls 3. Wait, is someone putting 3 in 1? That seems weird. Why are they doing that? Okay. Oh my god. Dude, what is with the eggs? They're all scorchers. I think we can safely drop one of the eggs. Now I understand why they didn't do anything with the backside of the volcano. They were like, bro, we expended all of our effort on making a huge fucking castle town. Well, sadly, it looks like I was right. There doesn't appear to be any actual resources here, which is unfortunate because this is a really cool base location, I feel like. But there is like nothing here. Like, there's an actual thing over there. But there's like, there's no ore in this. Like, that's sulfur right there. Oh my god. There's at least one ore node there. But I'm looking for something that ideally has multiple. Some large bones there that do be. And guess what? It has a scorching egg inside of it. Because at this point, the only eggs I find are scorchers. I think it's a large one. It is. I didn't want a normal scorcher. It's such a weird environment change. It's like volcano into Castle City into volcano. Oh, the Nightwing is hungry. He hungry. Give me your soul. Inventory full. No. I would rather have the soul than yet another, like, egg. Even if it is a small one. At this point, souls are rarer than eggs are. Wonder if chests are single open. Oh my god, another scorching egg. Pal team Hungy. Yeah, look, it's a whiz robe. How many total pals are in the game? Do humans count? I don't know if humans actually count towards it. I know there's like, I think it's like 111 are in the game. And it's early access, so I assume they'd add more over time. Especially because, like, they just got a shit ton more funding. Like, Chad, I think they shattered CSGO's concurrent player record, and the only other game that has ever surpassed them is PUBG. So, like, this is pretty monumental in terms of how big this game is at the moment. And there's still a ton of people that are, like, boycotting it too. So, like, I'm not gonna say that the game's gonna convert all those people, but, like, can you imagine if it did, just how insanely huge this game would be? So, like, at the end of the day, I think this game has already made a ton of money, and I think it will continue to make a ton of money, especially if they do end up monetizing it further. Which at this point, I think they easily could, and people would probably be A-okay with it because the price point for the game is so low. I think there's just a ton of people is that a huge one? That's just a large. But I think there's a ton of people that want to see this game succeed for various reasons. Either they just like the concept, or they want something better than your average, like, Game Freak game, and they basically just want to see it prosper because of that. So I think you would see people begin to invest in the game over time. VTubers playing the heck out of this too. Yeah, it's easy content, right? Like, a new Pokemon game is obviously fun, but it has a lot of... I swear this thing is glitched and all I'm getting are scorching eggs. Yeah, it seems really like it's got some good content, especially since it allows co-op and stuff, so it's good for collabs. Oh my god, chat, there in the distance, another scorching egg, and another scorching egg. I never would have guessed. I do like their overall world design. I think it's cool. I think one of their only issues is, like, they don't distribute resources commonly enough. So, like, you can look at this entire valley and it's like there's just no iron anywhere in it. So it's like it kind of ceases to make it a viable base location because of that. Oh my god, up there in the distance, it's a scorching egg. Okay, let's try to land there. There we go. Oh my god, a scorching egg. Oh my god, a scorching egg. I think the game is bugged. I think the server's only spawning it for me. Apparently they're working on mod support. That'll be really nice. Well, I don't know if you guys saw, but they already had the, like, Pokemon mod, and it already got struck down by Nintendo. And this is, I think it's a really important thing to understand too, because like everyone's being like, oh, Nintendo should sue this game. There is no real legal grounds by which Nintendo can. And I want people to understand that, because you see just how fast Nintendo absolutely slapped the dude trying to mod Pokemon into this game. So you know they're watching, you know they will take any legal grounds they can, but there is nothing they can do. This is a legally produced like, you know, copy game at that point. Yeah, there's nothing they can do. Obviously, if they get any sort of hint of any malfeasance on the devs' part, they absolutely will step in. But I don't think they can, right? Like, when it comes to throwing lawyers at the problem, yeah, absolutely. They are armed to the teeth, and Nintendo is extremely zealous at like trying to deal with this stuff. As they're also in Japan, right? But this is where, again, like at the end of the day, it's usually your Twitter lawyers. They have no idea what the hell they're doing or talking about. They don't understand what copyright is. They don't understand what infringement of said copyright is. And a lot of it just boils down to they have an axe to grind with the game. They don't like it, and therefore they want to see it sued. I understand, but like half the issue with this is like the Twitter people are just making shit up. First, they made up shit about AI that got proven to, well, not proven, but like basically everyone kind of pointed out that that's highly unlikely. Then they started making up stuff about like, oh, well, it's plagiarism. And it's like, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to tell you that the devs absolutely didn't get the idea from Pokemon. They 100% did. But I'm also going to tell you that they looked at some of the Pokemon and came up with similar designs. But I think that's pretty much the limit of it. That people want it to be more. They want it to be one-to-one copies, but it's not. And then I think, like the one I heard Bob was telling me today, he read an article, I guess, that was alleging that that they must have used the existing models from Sword and Shield. And I told Bob, I'm like, I don't really think that's the case, because enough signs seemed to point to it, and a lot of it was based off one dude's assertion that, in his opinion, that they must have had to use the Sword and Shield models because there's just no way a 3D modeler could copy a product even if they had the intent to. And I'm like, no, that's absolutely not true. The 3D modeler worth any of their salt absolutely could get the same like base layout as any other model. We see it all the time with VTubers. They're very samey in their 3D models in a lot of ways. So it's like, I'm not surprised at all to think that someone could do that. And so that's where the assertion sort of falls apart. But like, you know, I think it's also really interesting to note that the game has other models that are absolutely not from Pokemon. The models that look similar to Pokemon are changed. So to me, it's pretty clear they have like in-house 3D modelers. And they did talk about this, that when they started out, they just had a grad student basically doing all the models for them. So it's like, I think they absolutely have someone, and based off the fact that they have different designs than Pokemon, I think it's highly unlikely that they did use the Pokemon models, simply because it would have gotten them in legal trouble, and they're not that stupid at that point. They already went for a point of differentiation, and they wanted, supposedly according to them, they wanted to be as different as possible from Pokemon. Pretty clear to me that they also wanted it to be pretty similar to Pokemon, but oh, I don't need either of those. But yeah, like I'm not surprised. Oh, whoa, mother of all loads. Hello. There, we're gonna put that on the map there. Danger, Nightwing going dead. Oh, he's gonna just straight up go down. What the fuck? All because I didn't feed the pigeon some bread. It's a particularly scenic spot. I'm just not wild about the shitty ass ugly trees here. I wonder if I can chop them down. Nope. Oh. Well, that may allow for scenic improvement. And you got a nice little watering hole. I could like put the sauna in there. Maybe a decent spot. Several locations exist in places. Oh, I'm aware. I just I would like to see if I can find a better base location that I have, because like the biggest issue I have with my current base location is it's nice, but it absolutely sucks at like having enough iron. Frankly, the haters are just sad at this point. I mean, look, like I said, they just usually it's people feel like they're in the right. The people that I don't understand are the people that are like frothing at the mouth on Twitter. I understand if people don't want to like the game, and I respect that opinion, right? Like, I have no ill will towards anyone in that regard. I think it's really dumb when people start going like absolutely unhinged on like social media about stuff. Okay, so I got my Blaze Howl knocked. I don't think I can ride Suzaku yet. I think I can ride my Van Worm, but I think I need like the next level for Suzaku or something. You can ride a Blaze Howl? What? The fuck? Well, your Kitsune's already level 17. I told you, it's fucking wild, right? The question is, what did I do with Nico? There he is. Kitsune's gonna get back out there. We're gonna focus on the Pyre Noct at the moment. I actually have a lot of fire Pokemon in here. Yeah, I did see the interview with the devs of Palworld, and I was just like, that's freaking nutty to me. Like, they basically had $10,000 and they just wanted to make a good game is the takeaway. They also had no like version control whatsoever, and just like put everything on like flash drives that they then had to like keep buying a new bucket of flash drives every month, or sorry, like every week, I think. So it's like that's kind of nutty in and of itself. So I need 8. Okay. Stone I should be able to procure. I do have at least the Paldium. Big problem is I kind of need a Van Worm saddle. And And I need more paldium for that. And that actually, like, low-key sucks. Because I do not have easy access to paldium without a flying mount. Should be some nodes by the river here. Yeah, there we go. It shouldn't have worked. It's been one flaming dumpster fire after the next. Yeah, like, I mean, you know, I was someone that when they first announced Palworld, I was like, oh shit, that's going to be awesome. Like, the concept I thought would be a really cool idea that would work. I think there's been like a lot of skeptics. I don't normally see that mod in this area. But I do think it's one that's worked out pretty well. And it's really just going to boil down to, like, can they actually make the game that people want? I think the basis for the game is really awesome. But I think a lot of it is going to boil down to, like, can they actually make something that that players want and crave? Because, like, this is a good proof of concept, but I think people are going to hit the end game and get bored real fast. And they definitely need to start doing, like, upgrades. All right, chat, just grabbing some easy food. Oh my god, dude. I just wanted to pick up the fragment. Execution would be atrocious, but it's fun despite that. Glad to be wrong. I mean, I think it's also partially because they actually, like, kept it in development long enough to like flesh it out. But that's where I'm also going to say people need to be realistic with their expectations. Like, don't expect that, like, everything is just going to fix it. Like all the bugs are going to fix themselves. You're going to get immediate content updates. This is not a AAA company, chat. They do not have the actual, like, staff for that shit. Not yet, anyway. Yeah, it just occurred to me that I have not been up there, but let's make the Vanworm saddle. I don't know what the hell that dude's doing over there, but he needs to come make this shit. I don't know what the Inferam or Infernam or whatever the hell it is. They had 30 people working for them and got 50,000 support tickets in so far. Yeah, it's like there's just no way in hell they're gonna be able to deal with all of that. But I mean, the big thing is they need to, instead of focusing on support tickets, focus on fixing, like, some of the issues of the support tickets. So like a lot of them I've heard are, like, from people that cannot log into the servers and stuff. And it's like, okay, well, look at what's causing that. You know, try to resolve a bunch of the support tickets all at once, rather than trying to, like, answer each one individually is probably their best course of action. And they just need to put out a bulletin that says, like, we're sorry, we're swamped. We, like, thank you for your support, but, like, we cannot answer all of your questions type deal. Okay, where is my van worms? I could pull out another Nightwing. Burly body. There's an increase to movement speed. Probably go with that since he'll primarily be a mount. But I definitely need some asshole to come craft this saddle for me. Bro, what are you doing? Stop your mining. Chat, I am cold because I am wearing heat armor. Why are you resting now? Bro, what? Like, this is one of the issues that I have with the game is the pals are just terribly optimized at the moment. Like, terribly optimized. Where are you going? Where are you go? Okay, you're hungry. What? What? He was like riding Nico. Are you done eating? X the deer is starving. Damn, that's wild, bro. Have you considered getting in the box? Stop with your mining, you piece of shit. Oh no. Also, like this, where like I cannot get the reticle on the right thing, is stupidly fucking annoying. What? I believe infrarams are nocturnal, but like that is stupid because like I just pulled him out. Sorry, chat, don't mind me just slowly ferrying all of this stone that weighs 10,000 pounds back to my freaking thing. Ugh, there we go. At this point, like, I am willing to bet my Nightwing is like up. And he is. Goodbye, Vanworm. We're just sticking with Nightwing. I cannot be asked. Oh. Bamboo Grove. So I think these are like the frozen islands. Which are supposedly like really cold. Because of their name. Otherwise, I'm not actually sure.
Yeah. Ha.
Granted, they don't look cold. That's a big bitch. Bro, you can aggro on me all you want. I am faster than you. I am speed. Oh, we got some dire hells. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't seem too bad. Well, you know, other than the mercs killing each other. Oh, it's a Doomid. What game? That's a first. Definitely some nice open land. I'm just not sure that any of it's whoops. That has become Georgia the Jungle. More like Lewis and Clark. As we hunt good, positive base locations. I don't understand though. Like, I'm not wearing cold weather gear. I think I have my cold weather. No, I have my heat resistant underwear on. This is not even remotely cold. Like, I don't get it. They were like, oh, if you start up north here, it's cold. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't look like it. It looks like some tropical islands. Oh my god, I found a different egg type. It's not a scorcher. Ah, no wonder everyone forgot this island. Also kind of weird that I have not found any teleport points on these islands. Like they listed this as like, oh, don't come up here. There's not plentiful pals. It's really cold. And I'm like, okay. It doesn't even remotely seem it. Like even at level 1, this is easily doable. Like, see that right there is just a good base spot. At least for like a starter base, right? Like we have another church. I actually may be able to upgrade, so I may as well talk to this sucker. I keep forgetting to do it. Oh, that's enhanced pals. Enhanced player stats. Yeah, holy crap. We need 23 for the next one, but that should enhance my capture. I like spot 10 minus 533. 10. So what, like over here? Oh yeah, I know where you're talking about. Like the one that's like there's a ton of stuff there, like in terms of iron. Go to the Snowy Mountain Fork here. I love getting ambushed the second I come out. Like, what? Bro, like, bro, what? What? What is that combo? I could not even get on my mount. All right, I'll go back, and it's dead.
Yeah.
And they're gone. Oh, yeah, so that's got to be because my pal killed them. So like they were not that strong. They just wombo comboed me to death. That's fucking nuts. I have not had that happen in the game even once prior to that. Yeah? How's that feel now, bitch? Get your Dr. Seuss looking ass out of here. Yeah, you see that? Everyone's dead. All of your friends are dead. My wolf is coming to kill you. And now you're dead too. Egg? Another dungeon. I don't think the dungeons have any uniqueness to them, unfortunately, though. Like, it feels like once you've done one dungeon, you've done most of them. They're just kind of samey. Roided out Shadow the Hedgehog? I don't know. I don't know why he looks that way. I only know that he needs to be punished for what he did. He has declared war, and now all members of his species' lives are forfeit. I see. Looks like I found someone's base. Jormungandr? I see, in a Shurimiru. Probably ashes, yep. I have to give Ash some shit, though, because he blocked the road. I find this funny. The gate is clearly open, but I clearly cannot go in. It doesn't look like I'm gonna find a spot that I want here. Palisade looks nice and flammable. Listen, I don't know. All I know is y'all got way too many bases yourselves. My bases be small and dinky. Those green statue things, do they respawn? No, I don't believe so. They're like discoverables. Oh, I don't like this because this is actually somewhat like, I don't think I can run up it. So you gotta like go over here to get it where it's not too steep to climb out. This is really weird though, because it looks like it's ice, but it's not. We got the fire version of that dude from an egg. He's busted. I feel like all the pals are kind of busted. Like, the game is not so difficult that you can't make any pal viable, which I think is cool, right? Like, I know it's not going to be a good thing for, like, people trying to min-max in that regard, but, like, I think it's nice that, that they've kept the difficulty down so far, at least as far as I've seen, right? Like, for all I know, I may be talking up my ass and it may get like way worse. Oh boy, a metal armor schematic, even though I already have one. What is this? Is this all coal? Man, if only this were iron. You got a nice tree here. Oh, let's go. No textures loaded. Oh, it's a Suzaku. But yeah, to me, that's like the only thing they need to work on is the overall like resource spread. They put resources decently throughout the world, but then when you get to like any like rocky formation, they just stopped putting them. And I feel like that naturally hurt like base viability, where like you can only build bases on flat land pretty much because of that. Whereas like in Conan, for instance, you're almost like incentivized to put your base like in some impossible to reach location for defensive purposes. And you could say that that's still here with regards to raids, but like the lack of ability to like get to resources fast is kind of one of the issues. Plus there's like at least a partial meta for being able to like have nodes at your base that your pals can farm, particularly iron nodes, because there is no like iron whatchamacallit, like station. So there's like a logging station and a stone station, but there's no iron station. And so because of that, it naturally makes it like difficult. Your best base locations will always have like iron. In regards to cliff locations, yeah, they've got to get absolutely better with their snapping. It's absolutely atrocious. It's one of the worst I've seen in any survival game that is building. They at least have it. So, and I want to say, chat, it's one of the worst I've seen in any survival game that has building, but also that has snapping. There are plenty of survival games that don't have snapping, and they are the worst. So Palworld is not the worst at this. It's just the worst of any of the ones that I've seen that has that feature. But it at least has the feature. Because it is something you absolutely want if you can help it. Are traps in the game for raids and humans? Yes, kind of, but they appear to be extremely expensive, so I'm not sure that you'd really want to bother with them. I haven't bothered yet, but I feel like it depends, right? Like I haven't explored what happens if you have walls, because if you could maybe trick the AI into funneling into one point, that may be worth. Definitely need more pistol ammo. Okay. We're gonna head back to the town because that's the closest teleport I know of. We're gonna try one more location. Gotta give them props for their actual, like, tree density, though. Like, a lot of games will just put trees almost like you see the palm trees up here, where they're just, like, spread out, and they're like, look, a forest. And I'm like, that's not a fucking forest. Like, clearly you've never been to a forest. But, like, a lot of that just boils down to, like, they want, kind of ergonomic map design, where, like, you can move about it freely. But it doesn't look very good when they do that, so it's actually better to give full-blown like forests like that, even if they are somewhat impassable. That was, you know, kind of a thing back in the day anyways. You actually had forests that were very much you did not want to travel through if you did not have to. Of course it's becoming night, and of course that's a large frozen egg. It's a frozone egg. Damn, that quartz. Ooh, chest. Refined metal helm schematic 3x1. Sweet, that's a really good schematic, I assume. Holy shit. That is an epic schematic. It's just a normal frozen egg. We got way too many eggs right now. Ooh, teleport point. I don't know how the hell I didn't see this. More egg. That is iron and iron. And that is the sound of guns or crossbows cocking. Ooh. That's at least a large. I don't mind picking up larges. Larges and huges I will pick up, but otherwise, nyet. Okay, we got some iron. What? Why are the level 39 Arstoxes trying to kill me? Holy hell, Ice Weasel Hill. Ice Weasel. Needs more gold keys. Damn, at least there's a lot of chests. I don't have too many damp eggs, but apparently I am full on inventory again. Oh. I hate how, like, when you drop something, it takes priority usually over, like, the thing you're actually trying to get. I would really prefer if it were not nighttime at the moment. That would be great. Because I just cannot see shit. And I do not want to, like, just yeet myself off the cliff here. Egg at the summit. Oh, apparently there's a teleport point somewhere in here that I didn't get. You found any interesting NPCs yet? I mean, I found like the one of the black market dudes, but that's pretty much it. Oh my god, I really just wanted to be day. Like, I can't see anything down there, and I'm all the way at the top of the hill, so I don't want to, like, jump off. I want the lay of the land here. Apparently I aggroed again. Not sure why everything here wishes to kill me. We go back to your base to unload your inventory? Perhaps. Oh, speaking of. The Black Marketeer chat. Totally not evil. Got a Cryolinks that I've never seen. A Valet that I've never seen. An Elphidron. I wonder if he has a high chance of like selling pals you haven't captured. Catch him? That's probably difficult, chat. I have no idea if it's about to become like day or night here. Also, I'm really surprised I'm not freezing more than anything. I also like how you can see like out there is like all the shit I didn't collect. There's even one down there. I think it's getting more light, but it's difficult to tell because this game actually kind of is really slow with its dawn mechanics. And night just seems to last for fucking ever. Where's the moon? If I can find the moon, that'll tell me how long. Oh, there you go. Wait. Isn't this going backwards? The moon is setting in the east. Hold on. Or if you look right at your health bar, that would require me to be able to see my health bar. Yeah, there you go. It's now daytime. You can tell because there's red in the sky, even though I still can't see shit. In fact, I can see less now than I could like 2 seconds ago. That's ominous. Why is there a moon behind the sun? Why does that feel like that's just some death laser that's coming to kill us? Literally like the Death Star. This is the Termina moon? Yeah, like... Oh. Getting brighter. What is that? Is that a tree? I don't think that's a teleport point down there. I think that's either lava or it's some fire Pokemon. It may be some Arsoxes. Okay, so that's all rocky terrain. That is no es bueno to build on. There's another egg in there. Hilarious. It is like a frozen tree. Oh, it's a dungeon entrance. That actually makes more sense. Or wait, is it? No, it's not. Okay. Well, then this is just incredibly out of place. Looks pretty, but incredibly out of place. Like that Mamorest on top of the rock there. That's another large egg. Eh. I don't need that one ore. Feel like I just blasphemed. Dude, let me target the egg. Holy shit. Holy shit, game, that's cancerous. Like, what the hell? Good God. Three. That's a big bitch right there. There's clearly at least a large egg, and that may be a huge one. That sucker is gigantoid. Yep, that is a huge egg. Well, this area in particular is absolutely beautiful. Can't imagine the omelette. Omelette du fromage. So we're just gonna check over here, and then I'll probably have to make my decision. Again, like, the mountaintop is where I would rather settle, but like, the mountaintop doesn't really have the resources. Uh, okay. Can you stop? Dude, they're gonna shoot my bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? Jesus! I looked down at my thing. Fuck off, guys. Jesus, like, just leash. That's all I want you to do. Leave me the fuck alone. Good God. I'm not even strong enough to kill them. Lindrad, thank you for the follow. So I'm purposely trying to mark these, Chad, and you'll see why in a second. Because I need to bisect all the points, I suspect. Or, well, trisect? I don't know. I need one more stone. Are you... Okay. I think I'll have to... I don't think I can fit all three. All floors must be touching ground. Okay, that's gonna have to be close enough. We'll see how much land it gives me. Oh, let's go. None of it's in it. That's fucking awful. What? Now I can finally watch live? Hey, nice. Glad to have you, Lynn. We're just finishing up on some Palworld tonight. Okay, so now I got that. Let's try to get the miners. Yes, that's right. People who can mine, chat. All the Mamorests. I definitely need someone with handling. You know what? No, chat. I'm not this stupid. If I put them all out now, they'll all just get depressed. We'll save that for tomorrow. I like, it just is how this game is at this moment. Oh, I also need to put my Nightwing in there. But that is going to be it for me tonight. So, chat, let me see who all's on. I see a Mr. Faith on. I'm going to send you guys his way. I believe he'll probably be doing FGO and Palworld tonight. Again, hope you guys enjoyed. Tomorrow, like I said, it's probably going to be the Bizet review. I don't know what else there will be to do. Hopefully we get some news on either server, but again, it'd be what it be. Thank you guys for hanging. Go give Fame my love. Have a good one.